Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another episode of Inside the Firm. I'm your host, Alex Cool, Calm, and Collected Gore. I am here with Lance, skeptical about that statement, Cayko. We have a great show for you today. A little bit of a Fed corner, architecture corner, and sales superstitions. Are they real? Of course they're real. Of course they're real. Before we get into it, let's get into your business by going to buildabetterco.com, checking out your 5 shifts to increase your profit, and then reaching out to me if you want to join our group. Again, buildabetterco.com. Tune in your car and engine so it runs smooth and efficiently. Lance, what do you got?
I got accurate data is crucial, especially in today's business environment. Outdated and inaccurate data leads to turnarounds, delays, and rising costs with supply chain and staffing issues. These costs and delays can multiply. That's why a resource like ArcCat.com is so important. ArcCat works with manufacturers to keep their data up to date and accurate and offers it to you easily, accessible, and free. Use ArcCat's powerful search engine to find what you need and download it right there on the site without needing to pay anything or even register. So try ArcCat.com today. That's ARCAT.com. Back to you, Al.
Okay, I'm going to give you 2 perspectives, and you get to pick who's correct. And it's going to be hard because it's going to be between Peter Schiff and Jim Cramer. Both of them, I would say, notoriously have been incorrect. Peter maybe on a long game.
Maybe a little bit, yes. Maybe in a long game, and honestly, he's just too bullish about gold. Like, it's $2,300 an ounce? Fucking Costco's selling it now.
For real?
You didn't know about this?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, Costco gold bars. This is huge. This is huge news.
That is huge.
Yahoo. Look at you, Yahoo Finance. Why? This is you. Costco makes hundreds of millions on 24-karat gold bar sales. Anyway,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that idea. The reason why, so I think Peter is correct in that. Hey, the economy should be run like this. He's incorrect thinking that the Fed or anyone in government is going to listen. It's kind of like when everyone complains about the government, like why don't they balance a budget and why don't they just do normal stuff? Yeah, they should. That's a correct statement. Mm-hmm. Are they? So like, are you going to plan your life around what they should do when they're not going to do it? So basically the Fed, the interest rates came out and it went from about 3.1 2 months ago to about 3.4 or something like that. And there's 2 different opinions about what's going on. Jim Cramer, again, notoriously, let's just say, not hitting it out of the park with his predictions, said that this shouldn't be nothing to worry about. He sees some anomalies that essentially make the interest rate higher. Apparently, they had to kill a bunch of chickens for some reason, some bird flu, like millions of them. So that increased it. He talks about even though oil's going down, there's still a basically war premium on oil because of the wars that are going on. And to keep going smoothly, which means if he's correct, they won't raise interest rates, and maybe in the future they'll lower interest rates this year a couple times. Peter says that interest rates are still too low, and this is an indication that they should raise it, and that people that are buying gold and gold going up is also an indication that the dollar inflation is still happening. Thus, people are taking their money out of the dollar and putting it into gold. So he says that they should raise interest rates. The only thing I don't know, because I listened to a podcast, the PPD that he was on, if he said that they actually will. So there's the difference between like what you should do and what you will do.
Yeah, let me pull up a chart here on Zero Hedge. They just tweeted. I swear they tweeted at it last. They were talking about it last night. Come on. It's a chart that shows gold spiking at every crisis, basically. There it is. Perfect. Found it. Awesome. Okay, so the chart starts at 1998, and on the right-hand side here it goes to 2024. And there you go. It's up, Al. Slowly but surely it's up. So gold spiked with a global slowdown in right around the election time. And frankly, I don't know if that's the right. Like, okay, global slowdown plus the election, it was a lot of uncertainty in 2016. Then we crushed for a while. Miss it. And then back to 2020 with COVID, spiked again. And then if you look at the line now, there's another big spike here right now where we're at. And the quote with Zero Hedge on Twitter was, "What is it this time?" So we'll see. It's tricky. Here's what I'm seeing on the ground. What I'm seeing on the ground is, if you can take it back. I think you're next here again, Al. What I'm seeing on the ground in terms of finances is we're seeing deals, and I don't mean our deals in the sense that we're doing a development or anything like that. We are seeing developers getting crushed when they get to the financing stage. So they're doing what most developers typically do. There's a due diligence period. They get under contract for some land. They hire me. They hire the civil engineers. We develop a site concept. We go to pre-app. We start run. Then the good ones have either construction numbers on hand, or they hire a GC. They figure out their pro forma, and then all of a sudden they see if they're going to be able to finance this. This has happened multiple times now in the first couple quarters. The bigger projects are dying because they are just anything not anything, but a lot of projects that are above like basic out of the single family residence, pocket.
Yep.
So like your multifamilies, your commercial, your industrial stuff, like, oh man. Especially the multifamilies getting murdered right now. Really tough to do. Did it not work again when you did that? So what's the stoic approach? I think the stoic approach to all this is Tyler Suomala. I'm disappointed in your post on LinkedIn today. It was...
Tyler, you're the best in my book.
I'm going to hard at people today. I don't care. If you post publicly on something, then you're a public figure. I get to attack you. That's how it works. You can attack me too. Tag me if you do it, okay? But like what it was low architecture fees attract low end clients, and we're gonna, if we hit a hard period again, this is why the title of the show is in two different ways. Why can't architects see past themselves? So keep going for those high fees, sure. I've been there, and then guess what? Then I got laid off because two idiots couldn't run a firm properly, and they didn't recognize the forest when they were inside of it, and the forest was burning, and they were still trying for the crazy high fees. Now their firm is actually defunct, and we're actually competing with like the remaining leg of it, 1-to-1, like we're punching straight across, not naming names. You end up with people like me who are vengeful and will come after you business wise, and we will dominate. Okay, so you can't sit here and go like I'm gonna have the highest fees possible. You gotta eat. Right? You got to eat. It's sort of like there's no atheists in foxholes. It's like when Ye says there's no having money isn't everything, but not having it is. It's when we're all high on the hog. It's so easy for us to just go, yep, I'm going to keep raising those fees and the highest possible. Like, you got to recognize where you're at in life, okay? So the stoic approach is you have to be able to control what you can, right? So if I can't, I've been yelling at Jerome Powell for like 8 episodes in a row. He's not going to lower the rates, and Al, I think, is probably going to get to that with the whole interest, like the fact that inflation is still at a higher level than it was the last time we checked in. Doesn't seem like they're going to lower rates again. So what forest are you in? Oh, you're in a high inflationary forest where lending is getting harder and harder. And what happened the last time this happened when we were in a housing bubble, right? 2008. Big problems. So you better figure out how to be lean and mean. Go to RapidRocketShip.com. Think about taking Alex's course, buildabetterco.com, and maybe you don't get to be as picky and choosy as you want to be if a big storm is coming. I'm like, sorry.
Well, okay, but yes to both. Yes to both. Here's why.
Yes to both, sure. But don't say no exactly. That's all I'm getting at.
Because you said if a big storm is coming.
Yeah.
everyone needs to recognize that there's different seasons in your business, and then there's different seasons in the market cycle. So, Lance, if things were still hot and still going, yes, raise your prices, take advantage of that, build up your profit, build up your safety net. If the season changes and it's stormy and things are going down, then you have to do the opposite to eat, right? So, like, I think you're maybe triggered because you see that the storm is coming and the opposite advice is out there right now. But the storm, it hasn't come yet. But this relates back to my wait. Let me right here. The article that I brought up. The Fed might have no chance to raise interest rates. They may have to stay higher until something breaks, and that's a problem. That's the quote from Manulife Investment Management. They may have to stay higher until something breaks, and that's a problem. And if you look back, we were actually wrong because we kept saying, hey, lower them, but they didn't. And one of the things that we kept pointing out is that they seem not to lower it until something breaks.
Right.
And it seems more likely that will be what happens, is they will not lower it until something breaks. Interest rates will stay around this, maybe even go up to 4. They won't do anything. Who knows what could happen? All banks could fail. Another war could go out. Then it comes down. That's my newest prediction.
I like that. Yeah. We were the only reason we were wrong about them lowering interest rates is that, like, we were hoping to see a continuous steady drop in the inflation. And then, therefore, that would have allowed them to do that. But then we got the news. When was it? Like Monday or something? It came out. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. It came out. Super disappointing. Inflation just keeps going. It is what it is. Especially gas is just like almost $3 a gallon now, even though we're producing the most ever. But you got these stupid wars in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we not talking about this BD online?
Unless you can bring it up.
I can bring it up.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Isn't this my story though?
It is. That's why I put it in there.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right.
To continue reading.
How did architecture... So I got an article up here from Building Design. How did architecture become such a poorly paid profession, and what can we do about it? That's what I'm talking about, being careful with your fees because you got to eat. The profession must consolidate and specialize to address challenges around low fees and pay. Consolidate, huh? Well, there was a lawsuit at one point when that happened. AIA. There is much to celebrate about the success of the UK's architectural industry. All of the evidence suggests that the buildings we design today are better than ever. I would agree. R90-100, that's what we're doing these days. Indeed, our annual awards season, now just commencing, will demonstrate an enormous breadth of quality in terms of pure architecture. We are most surely on a high. It's no surprise, then, that architects' dissatisfaction nowadays is not about our work. Instead, it's about our pay. Ask any architect at any event or party, and this is what they will say. Such a constant cry has arisen from systematic low fees, producing a lack of profitability in architectural firms, which in turn leads to low levels of remuneration. The problem of low pay was described in an impassioned way by Alan Round in a recent building design opinion piece. What is the motivation, she rightly asks, of such long education and working so hard if the salaries of young architects are then so low? Like, where does the problem start, Al?
Well, I'll continue reading I got into. Here are the reasons for our low pay that this article says. So let's see if you agree with it, right? Number 1, the supply of architecture firms has outstripped demand for their services, leading to a drop in architecture fees. That seems like a basic principle of supply and demand. Mm-hmm. Number 2, the fact that other people can design buildings almost as easily as registered architects. Number 3, our inability to work for every sector of the construction industry. And finally, number 4, the complete lack of any regulation or even advisory scales for the levels of our fees.
Oh, that last one is horrible.
Yeah.
So you want to revert and you guys and your protectionism. I just don't understand. Again, title of this episode today: Why can't architects see past themselves? You guys are ridiculous.
Well,
I know here's the solution. Go to architectsguide2.com and become a builder and start crushing with 20 to 30% fees. What are you doing? Pick up the hammer. Quit being a puss.
Okay. Here's another one too. Think about this. The supply of architecture firms have outstripped the demands for their services. That comes from the federal government guaranteeing loans so that everyone can go to college. It's a government
lower
problem.
standardized testing so that more people can get in. You know, we're leaning less towards meritocracy and more towards DEI to get people in. Like this is, hey, I'm okay if we're recognizing both sides. It's all good.
Yep.
In that way.
So, I mean, we've beat it to the dead horse. Whenever the government tips their scales and starts providing subsidies, that the price of that goes up, and the consequences of that in the architecture field is now maybe there's a lot more supply than demand.
Yeah. All right, I've got something, and there's an Instagram reel I came across, and frankly, this I don't know what they're doing over here, but they're targeting me super hard right now on all of my social media platforms. I can't get away from this advertisement, and I really want Al's honest, candid opinion.
Cool-headed.
Al, cool-headed, nice guy, Gore. He's the nice guy today. Lance has had too much organic coffee.
That's that'll do.
Okay.
If you want to get riled up, get that organic.
All right, let's see if.
Okay, so this is going to trigger me or not?
I don't know.
Which architect are you going to work with? The architect that manages projects like this, or the architect who manages projects like this? This firm is HDG Architecture, and they obviously manage projects the second way. The software they use is called Monograph. Here's their principal architect explaining why they use it.
To engage our clients in a more confident fashion about when we can have things done, how long things are going to take. It really adds this layer of comfort that we have control over our systems, our procedures, and ultimately their project.
I am super biased. I'll tell you why. HDG, they were at the conference. I met those guys. They are awesome. They are really, really cool. Awesome, nice guys.
Yeah.
But wait, time out. Let me finish.
Thank you for the bias. Here's
yeah,
what
but I have to finish the. Yeah, you ask me a question. I have to finish it. Clients rarely look into what software you're.
Keep going. Keep going, Al Gore.
Maybe you're triggered because I keep sending you this. Never has anyone asked us. Actually, one out of probably 700 projects. One out of probably 700 projects that they have asked me. I would choose their firm, HDG, if we can bring it up, because they are great guys and they are awesome and they do amazing work.
HDG Architects.
Yep.
Oh, they're in
Spokane.
Of course. Yep.
Let's give them some press. I can't tell you how cool these guys are.
Their work is phenomenal. Their work is phenomenal. It's all good.
Hey, time out, Lance. Do they pick these guys? One, because they meet them and like them. Two, because they meet them, like them, and their architecture rocks. Or three, because of what software they use. Is that what you're getting at?
I will get you. I have 10 reasons. Why customers. It's called Providence. 10 reasons why customers choose to do business with you. Before I get into the LinkedIn article about this, okay? First, actually, I will get into this, and then at the end, I have another critique about the frickin' reel, okay? A big one, like architects. You got to see past yourselves here. Like, are we actually ever trying to engage more than ourselves and maybe the 0.1%? You guys drive me insane. Okay, so. Thank you, Al. Thank you for that take because it was a balanced take. Al, fair and balanced Gore. Absolutely. He could bring Fox back to the mainstream.
Because I would be fair and balanced.
If they hired him after Tucker left, jeez.
Do you bet?
Okay.
I don't know if that describes me fully fair and balanced, but in today it does.
So, yes. Again, I'll go back to HDG. You're killing it. Your work is great. I looked you up too. I think everything you're doing is beautiful. Look, here's even the project that even helped that was on the reel, whatever it is. You're killing it. You're doing great. It's all good. It'd be funny if they watch this and they email Al. Okay. So then Al's opposite reaction, right, which is like. No client gives a shit about your software. Like, that's crazy that you, like, again, were you not seeing past yourself? I commented on Instagram when that reel came across from my fishing profile, Fishing with Lance, and I said, this is not the W you guys think it is. And I go, I'm going to talk about this on the show. I can't wait to see it.
But isn't it? They're just trying to find that company. I'm happy to give them a shout out. Whoever it looks like a good. What's the software?
Monograph.
Oh, Monograph. Yeah. They have to try a marketing campaign. They have to try something. It's not like
This is your
imagine
feedback.
like Pepsi. Like what?
This is your feedback, Monograph. Robert.
Name a company that hasn't had like, oh, that was a stupid ad. I wouldn't say that's necessarily that stupid of an ad.
I'm just saying, hey,
but
it's not the W. Look, if you're trying, who's your customers? Oh, your customers are architects. Oh, okay, that's good, right? But like, if it was me, I would be pointing towards kind of the stuff we're already talking about earlier. For instance, the last article that we just talked about. Why architects are a poorly paid profession. Great. Prove to me that you are going to help me increase my bottom line. That's your target audience.
And then the other side, architects naturally, intuitively, emotionally like beautiful, simple, aligned, awesome things. So like your commercial, like you want to work, you want you aesthetically attuned person to work in this software. You want to work in this one.
Beautiful. Look at this guy over here, marketing genius. So okay, so
get with Tyler too. Tyler, think about something for them. Tyler works for them.
Tyler works for him.
There you go.
This is for both of you today. I'm disappointed. Okay, from the article here, people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. The quote comes from Simon Sinek, author of the book Start With Why. This quote makes me think about the different reasons behind why a customer chooses to do business with a company. There are plenty of them to consider, so I put a short list of some whys. Number one, price. Number one reason why they're doing business with you is price, right? So that reel showed nothing about, oh man, we are going to have the great fees and all the other stuff, or we're going to make it so like people can afford the project. Everybody's got a budget, especially the private sector. Number two, convenience. Who doesn't want an easy and frictionless experience? Number three, when I looked at that's the other thing too, is like, okay, let's talk about the convenience part of it. They compared, I think, like it looked like some other piece of like just a disparaging set of pieces of software. The clarity was not, for me, I'm like, I don't know, man. It looked like Monday.com. It looks like Monograph is kind of like Monday.com, and I'm not sure that it's super clean and streamlined. Like, how could the graphic have been better so that Al would have even been just impressed with the cleanliness of the whole thing, right? Like, it should have looked like a breath of fresh air. It should have just been like, and then I just take a deep breath and I exhale and I'm happy and it's a bluebird sky. Number three, customer service. I actually would put customer service, as far as architects go, up even higher. You know how many times we've gotten hired because they go, thank you for picking up the phone. Thank you for replying all in the emails. Thank you for just paying attention to me. And do you know how many times I have heard, it's like a 9-to-1 ratio. The opposite of that, where they go, this architect I couldn't even get him to respond to me. I couldn't even get him to reply to me. And then we beat him because of that. Number three, the culture. Or number four, the culture. Number five, a cause. You believe in what they believe in, right? You're aligning with values. Number six, trust. You trust them. Number seven, reputation. You've heard good things, all your online reviews. Number eight, consistency. Number nine, the way they do business. So now we're finally hitting with, okay. Maybe number 9 is aligning with that ad. I am with you guys. But I as far as the general public goes, like, it's just the messaging that's off here. You are missing.
All right. I got to comment on this article. The article, the 10 Reasons Why. I think that they're missing the biggest part of it. Why do people want to work with anyone? It's because you have demonstrated what they want to do. What they want to do, you have demonstrated it. Then they come to you. Then I would say all those other factors then play in. That's what happens. That's it.
That's like 0.0. Then
Yes.
it's price.
Yes, 0.0.
How
Right?
do you balance the whole price part of it? That's the tricky equation every time. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Everybody wants to make money. Architects we have this just weird. I think it starts in school when people say, even professors say, and I wonder if that's where sort of this infection starts to grow. Like, are they planting the kind of seeds that say, because maybe they're people that have been beat up by the private industry or even public, it doesn't matter, like they're doing public work, and they to practice, and they're like, I'm tired of it, I'm tired of getting beat up, I'm tired of the annoying clients, I'm tired of being underpaid. So if I'm going to be underpaid, I just go to a university and talk. Not talk, but I mean teach. Sorry, I go to university and teach, and the work is much less. I'm working with people who are now mostly my junior, right? Like students. Like you're the senior. Like is that where this all starts? Where it's the contention becomes so like it's I think I was walking with you from lunch on Wednesday, and I said, if you go looking for trouble, right? There's the old saying of like, if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it. So if you already have that infection in your head, if you go looking for low fees, you're going to find it. Or you're going to go looking for overworking yourself, you're going to find it. Rather than like pulling back and going, okay, it's already a hard sell because the major institutions that comprise that speak for a lot of architects are not doing they still continuously, to me, haven't been doing a good job about saying, here's what an architect does, here's why you need an architect. And so you're a lot of times you're coming in and you're sort of this necessary evil to the general public of like, oh, I want to start a donut shop, and I thought I could just have this sketch and then have my general contractor do it, and then you go to the city and they go, oh, no, you need an architect. All of a sudden, you're the necessary evil, right? So you're climbing uphill for that whole thing. Then at the same time, you have in your head maybe already these seeds planted, and then at the third thing is like, yes, like there's this huge focus on design in the university, such that like we are just being incredibly passionate about it, to the point where we're spending we don't know when to stop. So therefore, we don't know, we haven't figured out how to design an efficient process that still allows us to get our design goat. And then on top of that, like, what are who even talks about streamlining your design process with your production process? Now I'm going to go back to the software in terms of the software you're using. Maybe besides, like, I'm trying to think, like, besides us, and like, what other big voices am I hearing in the architecture community that are talking about making it so and then how about this? Back to the article about the architecture corner or whatever, where they talked about, you brought up, they were whining about the AI. And it's like, okay, I get how the AI and these other software programs, SketchUp, King Architecture or something like that, or whatever.
ArchiCAD?
No, that one's like Revit. Anyway, is allowing the general public to do more work, right, in that kind of way. So I just, again, like, why can't you, if you can, so okay, and then maybe there's like two more people, other people could add. I think in order to solve this problem, then, we got to look at at least half a dozen things. How about that? We have to look at a half a dozen things. Maybe some of them I said are true, some are false. Maybe you have someone to add. And then you got to recalibrate the whole thing. But it's not a top-down solution. I think it is a bottom-up solution. Once people finally admit we have a problem, it's kind of like we're alcoholics. It's kind of like we need to go to AA as the architects and go, we have a problem. We got to admit this problem. So it's us. I guess what I'm asking for is a little bit more. Yeah. I guess what I'm asking for is a little bit more personal responsibility / professional responsibility in that kind of, instead of, it seems like we continually blame everybody else. I don't know.
Well, hey, I think you were kind of nailing it on the head. Isn't it going back to value and then aligning your systems to that? So, Lance, you remember we did houses, me and you, way back in the day in Denver. Remember the duplex? It was a good set, right? Yeah. It got through with no problems. You remember, we just had this meeting. The amount that Denver is harassing and just having us put in nonsense is crazy, right? So, okay, we have to do that. We have to get paid for that. But the article and what we were talking about today is like, if you didn't have to do that, you could actually build a building without all that. But Lance, we're building a building right now, And we actually know that it would be way more valuable if we could sell it where there's actually more detail, more interior design is picked out, more of the details are picked out, more customization, right? So it all comes to aligning when you are selling is, and then Lance, this goes to in what economy are you at and who are you selling to? If you have to lower the price and give a more streamlined set, you have to have a more streamlined service. You have to have more streamlined, that's what it's called out. This is your iterations, and this is the level of service you are giving to you. I think the disconnect comes is I want to lower my price and then still give the moon in the set, the moon in the service, and all that, right? Versus having those tiers, having those different products for those different situations and for what people value more. And what we should be trying to is that if someone does come and says, hey, I only need this, okay, you might only need that and we can provide that. But it might be more helpful to you if we also provide this, and this is the reason why, right? Does that make sense with the value? And then making sure, because I know in my group, sometimes even the lowest projects can be the most profitable because you've streamlined that process, right?
Yeah. I just don't see, I looked up here, like general contractors not making enough money. Like, why aren't they complaining about it? Like who else? The realtors are going to start complaining about it quite a bit because of the NAR rule. Which is huge. It's going to, everybody should go listen to that Monday episode I did with Marilyn like 2 or 3 weeks ago. She literally has to pivot careers. Like, I'm not joking. So, I don't know. Again, back to the whole monograph thing, that reel that triggered me is like, it makes me angry because, once again, this is so if we want to actually, there needs to be a cultural consolidation actually in the architecture community. That's what it has to be. It has to be we are culturally going to consolidate, and we are going to agree. Most of us are going to agree. We are going to model it like it's built. We're going to streamline our own individual processes. We're going to give a shit about business. And then even software, like, I'm not saying, I actually think Monograph, as far as I understand, is a very good piece of software. I'm not poo-pooing the software itself. It's the marketing of, if your target audience is architects, why are you pitching to architects that they are going to get more clients because of this? I couldn't be more bored if I went to a website, an architect's website, and said, and the first ad was like, hire us because we use this piece of software. Nope. It's back to Al's 0 point, which was the projects, what they want to do has to align with what you've done. Then you got to align on price. And then we can start talking about all the other details. But those two big check boxes, like, I wonder if there was a chart, if there was like a pie chart. I bet if so now let's say it's split into 11 ways because we added your 0 to it. What percentage of the pie chart would be 0 and 1? Meaning, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
I think that's what I'm getting
60,
at here.
70%.
Yeah. So, hey, I might use Monograph one day. We might need to do it. We might get to that level of we're doing giant public work one day. It's possible. I might be one of your best advocates for it. But we got like, we're missing the forest for the trees again. Once again, we just keep doing that. So the cultural shift again has to be, just to boil it all the way back down, is like we need to recalibrate what we do for society. Jen and I were talking about this. Like, she's so the AIA of Minnesota. She's a member, and she goes there and she says, we've been talking about AI for like 3 years, Lance. And she goes, all we do is talk about it. It's all we do is talk about it. And she goes, if we don't make a big cultural shift in the architecture community and start rethinking about how we're rebranding ourselves in terms of, look, we're for health, welfare, and safety. She goes, I just can't believe they missed the humanization part of it. And I go, I'm with you. I go, hey, I appreciate background buildings from background architects. Your average building. If you don't have your average buildings.
This one's fine. Across the street,
This one will age well.
Yeah.
People could argue that our super modern one will not age well.
Sure.
You know, like,
Yep.
hey, I'm all about that, right? And like, you can't have just Rockstar building after Rockstar building because then they become the background buildings,
It would
right?
be a crazy world we'd live in if everyone
Exactly. So like, where does this cultural shift happen, and how does it start? Where we move it in a direction of, because like, okay, if you guys seem to be recognizing the externalities in an okay way, AI and all the other stuff, and then at the same time, like, man, the pitch has to be better. You know, like, do we have to actually get to a dystopian Blade Runner kind of society where it's just brutalist architecture done by robots for us to go, oh shit, sorry, let's hire the humans again. Right? And the humans come at a premium, but then you get a premium living experience.
Okay, so do you remember
I gotta stop my rant at some point.
yeah. We won't go to the last one. Do you remember the critique?
Sorry.
Like, this is SketchUp buildings. This is SketchUp buildings.
And Revit boxes
And Revit
Al's a
boxes?
Revit box architect.
Yep. But Lance, AI will make the Revit made it so that we could produce more. I know that because in high school I used to hand sketch, right? And hand draft.
And to use CAD.
Yep,
In practice.
and CAD, right?
Yeah.
AI will make it so that we are quicker again too. But is it going to make AI boxes? Or is it not, because there's more options? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, have you seen AI? Like, you can almost spot AI images now just because of it's almost like the color tone and all that, right? So, it's a good question. The other question, I don't think we can answer now, but I want a quick gut reaction. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is the system and colleges oversaturating the architects market?
Oh, definitely.
But isn't it?
We already answered that question.
I know, but isn't it weird? A lot of the firms are still backed up with work. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I didn't know that. Here's what we have gotten. I would keep curious about other people too. We're like your average size firm. That's the HOK book told me that 8 to 10 people, you're average. You're just average.
Yep.
We have been getting more job inquiries, and I want to point to externalities rather than internalities. Our new website looks awesome. We try to present a fun culture here. People can listen to the show, all the things. Yeah. It's all good, but that's not what I think. I think the economy's soft. I think it's pretty soft. So I'm wondering, like, is it okay? So people are backed up. Are they just hoarding work? And that's a hard word, but I don't know what other word. Corralling it, saving it.
Actually, no. Why I
Sounds
really
greedy.
think that?
I don't like that.
Do you know why I think they're backed up?
No.
Is because a lot of firms who do even more larger work or bigger work than us, they still have work in their pipeline because the city and the planning process is so slow. All these projects just keep dragging on and dragging on and dragging on and dragging on. So it's not like you have new, more profitable work. You're probably infilling some, but you always have work because the planning department will always kick it down the can unless you literally yell at them to say, stop this nonsense. This is revision 5 on something simple. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyways, we could probably explore that further. That is it for today. If you like this episode, please leave us a 5 to 10 star review. Wow, that's a lot. And we will see you next time. See ya.